The last sunrise over Lake Atitlan, I came at the right time, and that might just have been the best sunrise I've seen. Good morning guys, and welcome to another video here on the shores of Lake Atitlan in the town of Panajachel. Today is our last morning here in Lake Atitlan. In fact, we're going to be leaving in about 2 hours from now. We will no longer be at Lake Atitlan. But I woke up today at around 5 in the morning to capture the most stunning sunrise. And like I said, mornings here in Lake Atitlan are amazing. The weather is clear, you can see the volcanoes right behind me. It's beautiful, it's absolutely stunning, and I am just so sad that we're leaving Lake Atitlan because this place is truly beautiful. I mean, the tranquility, the lake, the waves of the lake just rolling onto the shore, it's stunning. It truly is a beautiful, stunning place. And today we are leaving, unfortunately, but it's gonna be exciting. So today's gonna be kind of a travel day, but when we get to our next destination, we're going to be looking around, exploring it, and I'm super excited to share that all with you guys today. But what a beautiful sunrise that was. I mean, it does not get better than that. The changes in the color of the sky from purple, pink, orange, I mean, all those colors are just absolutely magnificent, and that is why I love waking up early for sunrises, because those colors, that's what makes it worth it. All right, anyways, we're gonna head back and we're gonna start packing because we have got a long journey ahead for today. Let's go. Welcome back to the center of Panajachel. We're currently walking along Calle Santander, which is the main road, but we've got all our stuff and we're gonna head to the bus stop to catch a bus. Let's go. Well guys, after about a 2-3 hour bus ride from Panajachel, I can finally say we've made it to possibly one of the most beautiful towns in all of Guatemala. This is Antigua Guatemala. Now, Antigua Guatemala is probably one of the most photographed spots in all of Guatemala. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The entire town is just full of these cobblestone streets, these local little houses, and I'll be giving you guys way more information about Antigua over time, but we're gonna go ahead and start by exploring the city. This is a beautiful city, but it's a really small town. It's kind of like a pueblo mágico, so let's go ahead and start seeing what Antigua has to offer. Came over and conquered this area and everything. Antigua was the capital, but it was destroyed so many times by a lot of earthquakes. They moved the capital to Guatemala City. However, after rebuilding this place, there's actually a lot of the religious and political centers of Guatemala are actually still here. So we're gonna be seeing a lot of churches today. We've come to our first stop right here. This is the Templo of San Francisco. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys what's inside the church because filming and photography is prohibited inside. I wouldn't say it's a very famous, nice church. Actually, I prefer the one in Panajachel, to be honest. But yeah, it's nice. It's a church. They're currently in mass, so we're not really allowed to go in either. We're just sort of on the outside, just looking in. So I can't film anything. I can't even go in. And there's also a chapel right next to it, but most of the people there are actually trying to do something, trying to pray, so I don't want to disturb them. It's nice, there's a lot of history. There's even a museum for the ruins right next to the church. I didn't really feel like going to see the ruins inside. It's nice, it's really old, but in terms of the actual church itself, mediocre. All right, let's continue and seeing what Antigua has to offer. Next church we've come to is this big yellow building right behind me. This is the Church of San Pedro. Now The interesting thing is that they actually let you go inside and film in this one and take photos, and I have to say it's really nice inside. It's they've got like a candle and altar area. It's really peaceful, really tranquil, and you've got local people there sort of making the prayers and wishes and everything. They're currently not at mass unlike the other one, but yeah, it's a really nice church, and I'm sure it's also a very old church because all the churches here in Antigua are pretty old. But we're going to continue on and explore Antigua. Well, just a couple blocks down from the church we were at earlier is probably the main center here in Antigua. This is the Central Park of Antigua. Now, unlike a lot of other parks and plazas around Latin America, this place is actually pretty busy. Like, it's not as chill or relaxing. Like, people will come up to you, they'll try to sell you stuff, they're pretty intense about it. I think it's got to do with the fact that this place is pretty touristy. There's a bunch of foreigners here, but they're selling all kinds of stuff, jewelry, ice creams, medicinal paste, I don't even know. But they've got a lot of stalls here, and they're kind of like well set up. Like, they've got tables and everything, and they'll have like the white tablecloth, and they'll try and sell you stuff. It's really touristy, but the park itself is really nice and shaded. You've got trees, you've got a fountain in the middle, and of course there is a church right on the other side. We're gonna go check that out. So I mentioned that right next to the square there was a church, and this is the entrance into the church. Like 5 minutes ago this entrance was open, and now I've come back and it's just completely closed. But at least the park is really nice. It's a good place to hang out. This right behind me is the entranceway into the church that's right next to the main plaza. Let's go check out the Iglesia de San Jose. The church itself, okay, beautiful. I really like this church. Huge, tall, open area. But the thing is, the structure is kind of weird. Usually when you have a church, you have like one main sort of path forward. You have the altar at the front, and that's it. But here, they have a little thing that goes off to the left side, which is like a second church almost, with its row of seats as well. It's kind of different. I've never seen a church that has like an L-shaped form like this one, but tons of history on the inside. They've got tons and tons of oil paintings. The chandeliers are really nice, but for me, the oil paintings of like different popes and other important religious figures here in Antigua, because remember, this area was a religious capital of Guatemala until they moved everything to Guatemala City. So it's absolutely stunning on the inside. Definitely, if you're here in Antigua, you cannot miss the church. And the best part is, unlike a lot of the attractions here in Antigua, that's completely free. Next up, we've come to, I always like to visit markets when I'm in a new city to sort of get a sense of what life is like, and that's exactly what we're doing here. This is the Municipal Market here in Antigua. Okay, this is a pretty hectic market. I've always said that Guatemalan markets are pretty organized, and I have to say, the organization here is still really good, especially compared to Mexican markets. Everything is zoned pretty well. You don't have a random meat shop next to a vegetables shop next to a clothes store. So it's pretty organized. But this is massive. Like, I'm lost. I literally do not know where I am in the market. And this market just kind of bleeds over into the bus station. So when you arrive in Antigua, you'll get to the bus station. Right next to the bus station is the market. But the market just kind of like builds outwards, both like indoors and outdoors. So you don't really know where the market is and where the bus station is. It just kind of bleeds over into it. But it's very hectic. And once again, like all the markets here in Guatemala, big emphasis on traditional Guatemalan herbal medicine. You can see the influence here. It's clear and present. But yeah, they've also got a lot of beautiful flowers, lots of meats, vegetables, all that fresh stuff. Alright, if there's one thing Antigua is famous for, it's this one very famous arch. This is the Arch of Santa Catarina. It's probably the most photographed, most touristy place in all of Guatemala. I mean, just look at all the crowds there, just crowding around taking photos. It's so busy. It's a nice arch, and usually on a good day you'll be able to see the volcano in the back. Unfortunately, today's a cloudy day and we're in the afternoon, so the rain's gonna come really soon. But we can't see the volcano in the back. The arch is nice. It's just really crowded, and surprisingly it's actually much smaller than I expected. I thought the arch would be bigger, especially after seeing like photos and videos of it. But after getting here, I'm kind of underwhelmed by how small it is. There's an interesting history behind this arch. So in the past, there was a nuns' convent here where the nuns stayed, and they had to like come over to this other building here. I'm not sure what the building was. I think it was a school. But the thing is, the nuns weren't allowed to be seen. So that's why this arch was built, so that the nuns could cross over. But the thing is, this isn't unique to here in Guatemala. There's a lot of places around Latin America where these arches exist so that nuns could be protected from the view of the public. But this is just one of the many arches in Latin America that was built so that nuns could be shielded from the view of the public. But yeah, it's a nice arch, but it's just really touristy. Literally just right behind that famous Santa Catarina arch is one of the most important churches here in Antigua. This is Iglesia La Merced. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys what's inside because photography and videography are completely prohibited on the inside. But just looking at the outside itself, you can tell it's really beautiful. You can see that beautiful facade with those white carvings and the yellow background. This church was actually built in the 1500s by the Spaniards, but then because of a couple earthquakes, it was destroyed. They rebuilt it, destroyed, rebuilt. I mean, it's a continuous cycle. But the current church that we see today is built in a Baroque style. You can see that facade is very much in a Baroque style. There's a couple ruins next to the church, but obviously you have to pay for entry on those as well, and I'm kind of bummed out with the ruins, honestly. But the church itself is beautiful. At the front you see there's a big cross right in front of me, but this yellow colored church is the same yellow color as the arch. That's the super famous arch here in Antigua. But it's just really beautiful. You've got a bunch of street vendors here selling tons of street food, whether it's tostadas, empanadas. So if you're looking for a nice quick snack here in Antigua, that market is probably the best place to get it. Unfortunately, the clouds are starting to roll in. It looks like it's getting dark. We're gonna take a little bit of a break, and then hopefully we'll be able to go to a viewpoint for sunset today here in Antigua, because the fact is, Antigua is a pretty small town. We've seen a lot of the churches, we've visited the main area, we visited the most famous thing, which is that archway of Santa Catalina. And honestly, after that, there's not much to do here in Antigua. So I'll see you guys when sunset starts to roll around. Well guys, it may be cloudy, but for sunset, we've still come up to this viewpoint. This is probably one of the most beautiful viewpoints in all of Antigua. This is Cerro De La Cruz. Cerro de la Cruz means the hill of the cross, and that's because there is a cross right up there. But you get a view of the entire city of Antigua. You can see that it's actually a really small town. You can see a lot of the churches we visited. You can see the famous arch that we passed by, a lot of the ruins that you can see up from here. You can tell it's really small. It's really not that big of a town, which is why, honestly, if you spend a day or even half a day in Antigua, you can basically see most of the sights. But it's beautiful right now. There's supposed to be a volcano in the back, but the clouds have completely blocked it out. Well, it's currently 6 p.m. and as much as I'd like to stay here longer, this place closes at 6. The cops came in, whistling to everybody, get out, go. So that's it. That is sunset here at the hill. Honestly, the clouds have come in, you can't really see anything, so sunset's basically done at this point. But it's a beautiful view. That hill, you have an entire view of the city. It's really, really nice. And even though there's a lot of people currently, around like 5:30, most of the people actually go. So it's really, really quiet and really, really peaceful. The shots are amazing. This view, I mean, just look at the cross behind me. That is beautiful. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Today was kind of a travel day from Lake Atitlan over to Antigua, but Antigua is so small that we basically saw most of the city today. The fact is, it's a really, really small town. It's easy to get around, so you could basically see it in an afternoon, and even then I felt pretty bored afterwards. So if you're coming to Antigua, just keep that in mind. It's a small place. There's a couple churches and museums and stuff like that, but other than that, that's about it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to stay tuned. We've got more videos here from Guatemala, and I can't wait to show you guys more of this beautiful country in the upcoming videos. All right, make sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.